Oh, hello there, Beethoven. I was wondering if you could help me out a little bit.
What are you saying, CEAZOR?
I was hoping you could help me.
What? I can't hear you. You must speak louder.
Sorry, I didn't know you're kind of hard of hearing. I was wondering if you could give me some advice.
What advice is it you're looking for?
Well, I got some romantic problems. I got a girlfriend and another girlfriend. I need some advice. I don't know what to do.
Let me give you the best bit of advice I can ever give anybody. Number 1, choose 8 girls that you very, very like. Spread your time proportionally across each of them based on how much you like each of them. And then you will be very, very happy.
Hello, welcome to CEAZOR Snack Sandwich. Today we're on Phantom taking a look at Beethovenx. But before that, I'd like to shout out a thanks to Cream Finance for sponsoring my education in DeFi. And your education seemingly as well. So you can check them out in the description below. So let's get over to Beethoven or Beethovenx. So what is Beethovenx? It's a balancer fork on Phantom network. So what does that mean? Basically, there are these different liquidity pools that you can come to swap. So we could go to swap here, and if let's say I had some FTM and I wanted to swap it for some DAI, I could swap it here and do this trade and so forth. So this is the purpose of this thing. It's a place where you can trade tokens for other tokens. Now what makes this one different than Spooky Swap or Sushi Swap or Spirit Swap or all of them are that some of these pools have multiple tokens inside them. As you can see, this pool here has a total of 7 tokens, and this one has 8, and so forth, and on and on and on and on. So there are some pretty interesting pools, like this one here. It's basically like a curve pool with stable coins inside it, and it currently has an APR of 26%. Now this 26% is purely of trading fees and so forth. However, as you can see, the liquidity is quite low, so this number is pretty inaccurate in the long term. Now this number is a little bit higher. The liquidity depth is a little bit higher, and there's quite a bit of trading going through there. So they're using this pool to arbitrage these stable coins as well. And there's a pretty good APR, but once again, these liquidity depths are quite low. So I wouldn't suggest using it for a large amount of money. But maybe if you wanted to swap a little bit for a little bit, you might want to consider this, or you might want to supply liquidity to these. So if you wanted to supply liquidity here, you would click it, you would wait for this to load, and then you would just supply liquidity to one side or the other. Now you could supply all 3 tokens, or you could supply 1 token and invest it, and it's going to give you back a share token of this pool, and proportional to your addition to this pool's amount. So let's go over to the docs and talk a little bit about the different kinds of pools that are on Beethovenx. So we have weighted pools. Weighted pools are where you put a whole bunch of tokens inside, and you tell how much of each token you want to have. So if we go back to the list here, an example of a weighted pool would be like this one here, which has a whole bunch of different kinds of tokens inside, and they all have like different percentages. You can see the percentages of them are quite different. So it kind of works like an index. Well, while you're holding this LP token, you're kind of having exposure to the price action of all of these tokens. So that's the weighted pool. The stable pools are more like basically curve forks. So I believe that these stablecoin pools, like this one here, is a stable pool. So they run off the curve finance formulas. So the peg will stay a lot closer and a lot tighter, and the price effects won't, because these will stay relatively price pegged to the most part. $1 each, right? Then they have these meta stable pools. Now these are kind of a new thing that it says coming soon here, but they do have a deployment contract, but I'll show you that later. So basically the idea here is that you have 2 tokens that are slightly different. So like DAI versus CDAI, or another example might be BOO versus XBOO. So if you wanted to if they wanted to create an LP where you could trade BOO for XBOO or something like that, then you could use this to do that, and the formula would be slightly different than the ones in here. And then the last one is some bootstrapping ones, which are again coming soon, where they allow you to, it's kind of like a launch pool where you would launch a token and then it would slowly like, the mechanism with the weight would slowly change as the prices and people start buying your token out of the pool for the other token. Now, there are a few other things. It does use like exact copies of Balancer version 2 contracts, which have had audits and a bug bounty program. So they're not doing their own audit. They're just relying on the audit of the Balancer version 2 contracts, which were forked verbatim, it says here. So there are some interesting things here. So it talks about the trading fees and kind of like that, and how they're going to use their portion of the trading fees to buy back the Beats token and give it to farms. Now, if you go to the farm here on the website, there's no farms yet. So I guess they haven't launched the liquidity farming of the Beat token yet, but that will be coming soon, I guess. And of course, the Beat token will be used for governance and so forth, and which is interesting, right? Now there is one more thing that I came across that's pretty interesting, and that's this part here: greenhouse gas emission scopes. So they're claiming that 2% of the 20% that they take will be used to give back to the environment, to invest in things like forestry, regenerative agricultural, direct air capturing. So kind of greenhouse gas. They're trying to, do something for the environment with this protocol as well, based on what it says here. The last thing I'm going to show you is that right now on the UI, there's no way to create a new pool. If you wanted to create your own index pool or your own balancer pool here, there's no way to do it in the UI. So I believe they're probably going to build that. But if you really, really want to, you can come to where it says deployments here. Where are deployments? Here, deployments, and you could come to the contracts that are currently committed and opened, and let's say you wanted to make a pool of this one here. So I would click that and it would send me to here, and you can see there are some pools being created. So you could call this function. So let's open up this one here and try to get some idea of what we need to do. And I'm also going to go to the contract and go to write. And as you can see, there is only one function, so you would have to supply the information needed here. And I'm not going to go through all of this for you right now, but I'll kind of quickly explain it. So this is basically just a string where you would type in all of the name of the pool, and here is the symbol, whatever the token symbol for the share token that you get from the pool. And here is the list of all the token addresses that you would need to do. So you can dig through here and try to figure out what the weights are, how to distinguish the weights, because it's not just putting like token addresses in here. You have to modify them a little bit and change the format in which you want to do this and so forth. So I think that's pretty much it. I hope this is useful for you. I hope you like this, and I hope it's good. This project is new, and it is, they are starting up. Like, it's not a very, very, very old project. But I'm going to be watching it and thinking about it and trying to learn how to use it. I'm pretty interested in the Launchpad pool tokens, what do they call them? The bootstrapping pools. I'm pretty interested to find out how this works. So I'm going to be watching for that, and maybe I'll make another video when that time comes around. Okay, so thanks so much for watching, and goodbye.